Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good evening, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're having a great night so far. Great night for football. Week 2 of Football Frenzy. We are officially counting down the end of a lot of games here across West Michigan, and here on the Live Desk all season long, we're going to be bringing you a tease of what to expect coming up on News 8 at 11 for the full frenzy. So we're going to just get to a couple of things that have already been put in the books, go through some of the scores. If you have any questions about some of those scores or where to really check out, where to find those, or maybe even some of the highlights that we have, you can definitely reach them out. If you're watching us on Facebook, just leave them in the comment section. We'll try to get to as many as we can. But like I said, we've got a lot of games coming up later today. At 11 o'clock, up to 20 games we'll be showcasing on Football Frenzy, including 3 key spotlight games. In fact, we're actually going to show those right now for you. And you can expect, of course, highlights and scores from up to 20 games in just under an hour, again, at 11 o'clock on Wood TV 8. First off, of course, though, these Thursday spotlight games, we're taking a look. A lot of them of these games are already final, so we're going to be bringing you the scores there. But our spotlight games, Byron Center took on East Kentwood, a battle of 2 1-0 teams. And then we also are keeping a close eye on another undefeated matchup between Portage Central and Forest Hills Central. We'll have more on that coming up right here on the Live Desk. Actually, we've got a couple highlights from that game. And the last spotlight game tonight, of course, Unity Christian looks to bounce back from last week's loss to Whitehall. They were taking on Oak Ridge tonight. And so for lots of big-time matchups in the spotlight, we also have a lot of other great games. And like I said, up to 20 will be shown tonight at 11. But we do have a few for you right now on the Live Desk. And as I mentioned, we do want to start off with one of those spotlight games. Of course, that one being Portage Central taking on Forest Hills Central. These are some of the sights from that game. As you can see, the cheerleaders and band already out on the field. First play, really tough. Quarterback keeper here for Forest Hills, breaking through tackles, crossing the goal line for a touchdown, even giving us some somersault action there. A little later on, we've seen what he can do with his legs. Now he's showing us what he can do with his arm as he rifles this one in on the slant, lets his receiver do all the work, barreling his way in for another score for the Rangers. The crowd loving it. Mustangs would have the ball later on and threatened to cut the lead, but the pass was quickly intercepted, taken all the way back to the house. Rangers loving that. Bumps all around, high fives all around. Everybody loving that. Everybody running to the other side of the field to congratulate their teammate. Another touchdown. And just a few moments here, another touchdown from earlier in the game. This one, another one on the ground. This game was really all Forest Hills, and we'll have those final numbers coming up at the top of the hour, as I mentioned, and the full frenzy in just a little bit. Now let's check out yet another game from Thursday night. Sparta traveling to Coopersville for an OK conference matchup. Coopersville dominated Otsego last week 49-6, and Sparta fell to Muskegon Oak Ridge a week ago. First big play for Coopersville results in a touchdown on the outside run, making it 7-0, and the Cougars kept it pouring on. We have an end-around pass that results in yet another touchdown. We might be seeing that in plays of the week on Monday. And coming up, we have yet another short burst through the middle. We're looking at a 21-0 ball game. However, the Spartans would later respond, as we'll check out in just a few short moments. Another play that we could be seeing in top plays. Just an incredible catch coming up right here as you see a rollout, deep bomb down the field. And look at that toe tap, both feet in bounds. That's a professional touchdown right there. That would cut the lead a little bit, but unfortunately the Cougars would answer with yet another short burst through the middle. Again, full highlights and all the scores coming up later on in just about 45 minutes over on News 8. So make sure you tune into that. And you can also check out the scores right now over on woodtv.com. And we've got one more set of highlights for you. Hudsonville went down. Oh, I'm sorry. That does not appear to be the correct highlight. We will be, give me 1 second, folks. I apologize for that. We'll be bringing you that later on in just a little bit. Here we go. Hudsonville taking on East Lansing tonight. Very exciting game. You know, we see Coach right now getting on his players to get ready for the game, and they would listen to him. East Lansing really came out firing, starting the game strong. The huge bomb down the sideline that would lead to a touchdown just a few plays later, and really just a great one-on-one individual performance here to score into the end zone, putting East Lansing up 7-0. But then a disaster would strike for the Trojans after stepping up in the pocket, letting the ball go down the field. It would be picked off by Hudsonville and returned pretty decently after making a few moves, getting down to the sideline before taking a pretty huge hit. But the turnover bug was everywhere in this game. A few plays later, the Eagles would turn the ball over. Right back to the Trojans, who would then score another great catch. We've seen just in these 3 games so far lots of great plays. That would lead to the score being 12-0, but that's not the end of the game. Hudsonville would eventually turn things around and actually end up winning this game. We do have a final in that one with a score of 23-12, and those are the highlights there from that game. And actually, we want to, of course, we'll have more coming up at 11, but we do kind of want to highlight some of the scores that we already have final. Again, these scores can be found right now over on our website, woodtv.com. As I mentioned, we just saw the highlights, some of the first half highlights from that Hudsonville-East Lansing game. As I mentioned, Hudsonville would turn it around, end up winning 23-12. Checking out some of these other games, Davison and Granville turned out to be pretty high scoring affair, 52-41. You see Zeeland West, Cedar Springs, Zeeland West kind of putting it on them right there. Unity Christian getting a win there, 33-21. Comstock versus Allegan, another blowout. Allendale versus Hopkins, 36-0. Northview versus Wyoming, 43-20. These are just some of the scores that we're getting. And again, this list on our website is going to keep on updating as more and more scores keep coming in. And of course, you'll be able to check them all out at the top of the hour on News 8 at 11. And as I mentioned, we've got all these, we saw a ton, absolutely a ton of great plays, and really just getting excited to see what the top plays are going to be this upcoming week. But we still have voting open right now for last week's plays of the week. So while you're checking out some of these scores on our website, you might want to head on over to the Frenzy page where you can actually find where to vote and check out some of these top plays. We're going to go through them one more time. Starting off with this one, Vicksburg Zachary Klein had a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week. That is one of our top plays of the year. Top plays for week 1. And then we, of course, go to Grand Rapids Union's Jesse Phillips, who made an incredible effort here on this 85-yard touchdown scamper. Those are the top 2 of the plays from week 1. And, of course, we have one of the most impressive plays, given the context of everything. We have Brody Betzer launching the game-winning touchdown to Maddox Greenfield for that game-winning touchdown, as I mentioned, in the Big House last week. Greenfield and Betzer would connect on 4 separate touchdowns last week. So all great plays, but there can only be one. So you do have until 11:30 tonight to vote for your favorite. The winner will be announced on daybreak tomorrow morning. And on top of all this football, high school football action, actually, we do have some college football here in West Michigan happening tonight. We can't forget the Ferris State Bulldogs, who are playing tonight against Mercyhurst. The Bulldogs are looking to three-peat as Division II national champions this year. Alec Giannakopoulos is in Big Rapids tonight, and he will have the latest coming up later on in our Football Frenzy newscast at 11. And also Western Michigan had a game today. They were taking on St. Francis down in Kalamazoo. Marley Weird is down there. We'll have more on that game later. Currently, the game is in the 4th quarter, the Broncos leading 35-17. So sights and sound from not only high school, but college games today. And it is going to be a pretty busy night for our sports crews. And it's not just going to end there. We actually also have a frenzy tomorrow night. This is a look at your spotlight games tomorrow. As you can see, we have Rockford taking on Mona Shores. East Grand Rapids will be taking on South Christian. Grand Rapids Union, who we saw Jesse Phillips make an incredible play last week, will be taking on West Catholic. And we're going to be, of course, bringing you highlights from that MSU-CMU game as well tomorrow, so that's going to be very exciting. Another busy day, busy weekend. We're in the swing of football season. Really can't expect too much downtime. So those are our 3 spotlight games for tomorrow, so make sure you tune in to News 8 at 11 tomorrow for the recap of all those games as well. And now shifting gears a bit, We talked a little bit last week here on the live desk. The Football Frenzy Tailgate Food Drive is off to a great start last week. On daybreak, they were at Wyoming Kelloggsville High School. The school brought in 322 pounds, which was, just a great thing to see, just the community kind of rallying around, bringing in food for the less fortunate. But today, Forest Hills Northern was where our daybreak crew was for the tailgate, and they racked up an astonishing 12,238 pounds of donated food. You see lots of students there bright and early in the morning carrying just these pounds and pounds of food. We have some photos from our very own Casey Jones, who was out there on daybreak this morning as well, as they sort of counted up all those items. Casey also said that they needed 2 different trucks, semi-trucks from Feeding America to transport those 12,000 pounds of food. Absolutely insane. This is going to be a tough number to beat for the rest of the year. And the fact that they did this on a shortened week, again, this happened on Thursday. Typically, these tailgates happen on Friday. So super impressive what Forest Hills Northern was able to do. And if seeing this, I'd like to just put this back up here right now. If seeing just the incredible acts that as you can see, there's Casey right there. Just seeing all the giving, if that's put you sort of in the mood to maybe think about donating to Feeding America and really helping out with these tailgates, I highly encourage you. That QR code you see right now on your screen will take you directly to a link that helps Feeding America. You can definitely donate money, find out where your nearest food donation site is, and definitely just be a part of the Football Frenzy Tailgate Food Drive. It is a great cause, and Wood TV 8, really just tries to continue to help out the community. And as I mentioned, that 12,238 pounds raised by Forest Hills Northern today, just today, incredible astonishment. I have, really, when you think about it. For reference, last year during the drive, it was a record year, but throughout the entire year, we raised over 16,000 pounds of food, so nearly breaking the total record from last year in one day alone. Pretty impressive stuff from the Huskies there. And again, one last time, if you want to just scan that QR code, it will take you directly to where you can donate and help out Feeding America as part of the Football Frenzy Tailgate Food Drive. All right, everyone. Well, I think that is going to do it for us tonight on the Wood TV Live Desk. I want to thank everybody else for tuning in. And, of course, I want to remind you, just coming up less than 40 minutes, about 38 minutes from now, on News 8 at 11, we're going to have the full frenzy, all of the scores, all of the highlights of up to 20 games from West Michigan that you are not going to want to miss. You'll see a couple of pretty amazing plays already on the live desk, but you're going to see a lot more coming up at 11. So highly encourage you guys to go out and check that out coming up in just a little bit. And in the meantime, you can definitely find all of the scores as they come in right now over on our website, woodtv.com.